2013 iMac set up. I have the tape on the screen. I did order the adhesive strips, but this iMac came with the puny 8 gigabytes of RAM. And yes, I'm running Windows on boot camp right now because I want to try out Star Trek Online, which is going to take forever. Now this has the Intel Iris integrated graphics, unfortunately, but I think it'll be alright for my needs. This isn't a registered copy of Windows. I think I gotta buy it to get the product key, but I'm waiting for 16 gigabytes of RAM. I already put the WD Blue Western Digital Blue SSD in here and took out the old 1 terabyte hard drive, which I'm using for a time machine backup on this. I'm gonna put the SSD out of my MacBook when I upgrade this to 512 gigs or a terabyte. When I upgrade it. Yeah, I'm backing up my time machine right now on another Western Blue 256 gig hard drive on my MacBook Pro, which I love that glowing apple. I cleaned it all up. So once I do this, I'm gonna have a 512 gig or 1 terabyte SSD. I might do boot camp on this too. Or 56 gig SSD in the PCIe slot that's in on the motherboard. I'm gonna have 16 gigabytes of RAM. I might wait to put the adhesive strips on it until I order this SSD and order this SSD soon. I have an adapter too to use an NVMe drive on one of these with the PCI Apple proprietary PCIe. You know, they still make this iMac pretty much to this day. Maybe it's a little more powerful. I mean, yeah, it's not a hyper-threaded. It's got the i5 quad-core, non-hyper. It's only got 4 threads, 4 cores, and I think it's 2.7 gigahertz. But you know, it's pretty responsive, and you know, for the price I paid, which I think was $200, it's a really nice computer. The only thing is, I already had this keyboard and mouse. I sold the 2011 just the thing. I don't have the white power cord. I need to get one. And this tape is ugly. I'm gonna get rid of it when I put the screen back on, but it's in really, really good shape. I really do love this computer. Now, a lot of people, you know, they just want a laptop or whatever, and I'm fine with my 13-inch MacBook Pro. It's a little small, but I got this big, nice iMac for the big screen computer, more hefty tasks with that bigger processor. And then for school, I have the MacBook Pro, which does most of the tasks on its own, and I don't want to carry around a big honker laptop, so this is just perfect for me. We've already gone through over this. Steam wants something. Wait, where's it? Okay, update. Okay, it's updating. And anyway, you know, I had to buy a crappy Staples keyboard to use, you know, to all you have to do is basically set it up with the crappy keyboard and another mouse, which I use this crappy like $6 mouse. I don't know why this drink is up here. To install it. And then after that, you know, I pretty much don't need it unless there's issues. Now when this is done, I'll show you, when this is done, I try it out, I'll show you how to, I mean, it's pretty easy. All you do is just basically restart it and hold command here to go into the boot thing, go over to Macintosh HDD or whatever your Macintosh hard drive is labeled at, or SSD. My SSD is labeled as Macintosh HDD. And then, you know, set a boot. And then you have to go into preferences and go to startup disk and change it back to Mac hard drive, because if you restart it after that, it's going to boot back into Windows. So you change the startup disk to the Macintosh, because you have your disk partitioned. I only have like 100 and something gigabytes because it's a terabyte for Windows, because I only need it for a couple games. I don't need it for a lot. So you have to partition it for specific drive space for Windows. So it shows up kind of as two different drives in one. So it'll be, if you put it on the Windows, so basically to get into boot camp, you don't go to boot camp. To get into Windows, what you do is you just put the startup disk as the Windows one. Restart it, it'll boot into Windows. When you do the opposite, you restart it, hold Command Select Macintosh HDD to boot back into Mac OS, and then you go into startup preferences, then startup disk, and then the Macintosh HDD. because if you don't, it'll still be selected as boot Windows. But I mean, I got Macintosh for Macintosh OS, you know, Mac OS. So I probably won't use this as much, but there's some games like this one or the 32-bit things like Half-Life and stuff like that that I'll need Windows for. And it's old enough to where this limited graphics won't bother me. Eventually I'm gonna see if I can get a really nice graphics setup. A really nice iMac or something, iMac or iMac Pro with graphics in it, with a nice graphics card in it, and maybe a newer MacBook. I don't know yet. All I know is I got this because I'm doing another iPod upgrade soon. I had to sell the 512 gig for car insurance because we bought a car. I needed money quick and I sold it. But I'm gonna be making another one soon anyway. Let me get back to you. They're lined up correctly, because if it's not, the peripherals will not fit and then you cannot use it. I like to kind of plug things in to make sure they're kind of on par with where they should be, and then screw things in. That way you don't have to worry about fit later on when you're putting everything back in place. I don't know how I managed to get this stuff everywhere. I also like to kind of clean things off, but not make a mess as I'm doing this. But I guess that's out the window today for some reason. You know, someone might come in here again in the future, and I just don't want them to be like, what the hell is this guy thinking? Because I've had moments like that with other things, like guitar amplifiers and stuff. I've just torn things apart, or radios or whatever, and I've been like, that work's done to them, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Easy. That was actually definitely pretty easy. The only thing we have to do now, which I think that's for the camera. I think that's what this is for. So with these tabs, they're a pain in the ass. All you have to do really for them is take that cover off and just pull it out, and it comes right out. Let's unscrew this first. I've been realizing that doing this for the delivery. Let's look at the, put some footage of the board, how everything goes, kind of for experience. That's why I like to do these things, because you know what, I kind of understand how these things are built anyway. And then I already have all the data, which I did glance over it, but I didn't read it. Yeah, if I need something back. Lost one of the screws, but I got it back. You know, it's still pretty moist on here. But nonetheless, it's aged. And I'm gonna clean it off in a fucking new. You know, it kind of sucks that this is a soldered CPU. The i5, but I got a really good deal on this computer and I like it. I think it's the PCIe SSD slot that some of these don't have, so I guess it's a reasonable trade-off. I plan on putting one in here eventually, but not for a while, so I'm still going to put the adhesive back on the screen because I can look at the tape. So you just want to clean this off really well. Be careful not to knock those off. If you knock those solders off, you lock those capacitors off, they're screwed. off the CPU and the heatsink. You're going to put a small dab of it and put equal pressure on the one with the blue dab. You want to cover both the guys. That's probably a little bit too much because it squeezes over, so a little bit too much. But that's done, and we applied equal pressure. Now that we're doing that, we put the equal pressure on, screwed it back down. We're gonna make sure there's no dust, and we're gonna put it back in, making sure the ports line up correctly. Doing this for the glory. Let's look at put some footage of the board, how everything goes, kind of for experience. That's why I like to do these things, because you know what, I kind of understand how these things are built anyway. And then I already have all the data, which I did glance over it, but I didn't read it. Yeah, if I need something, back. Get the reassembly of this iMac. I'm just doing the fan screws. And before I get the screen on, I just want to make sure, glue the screen on, I just want to make sure it fits up. But I am going to put the adhesive strips on. I'm just not going to necessarily glue them up. I'm running into screws, meaning that that was actually definitely pretty easy. The only thing we have to do now, which I think that's for the camera. I think that's what this is for. So with these tabs, they're a pain in the ass. All you have to do really for them is take that cover off and just pull it out, and it comes right up. Let's unscrew this first. I've been realizing that my curves are lined up correctly, because if it's not, too close to that fit, and then you cannot use it. I like to kind of plug things in to make sure they're kind of on par with where they should be, and then screw things in. And that way you don't have to worry about fit later on. I managed to get this stuff. I also like to kind of clean things off, but not make a mess as I'm doing this. Well, I guess that's out the window today for some reason. You know, someone might come in here again in the future, and I just don't want them to be like, what the hell is this guy thinking? Because I've had moments like that with other things, like guitar amplifiers and stuff. I've torn things apart, or radios or whatever, and I've been like, that work's done to them, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Let's install the hard drive bracket, which I should have probably done before I did the power supply, because I just realized how it works. Damn. I guess I'm missing this. Alright. Put this Kind of just line it up, find the screw, and screw it in. After reassembly of this iMac, I'm just doing the fan screws. Now before I get the screen on, I just want to make sure, glue the screen on, I just want to make sure it glues up. But I am going to put the adhesive strips on, I'm just not going to necessarily glue them on and finish the installation. Running out of screws, meaning that power supply next. Please let's install the hard drive bracket, which I should have probably done before I did the power supply, because I just realized how it works. Alright, well I guess I'm loosening this. Put this in, kind of just line it up, pull the screw, and screw it in. Unplug it, and do this. I'm sorry that some of these steps I can't show on camera. I really don't mean for it to be like that. I really don't. It's just expired, and you should never do it the way I'm doing it. Drop the screen. As you probably saw in that episode of Line Septics. I'm pretty sure I got everything lined up. I know it looks kind of tacky, but that's just the outside. Doing this. I only get like one shot at this, and it's never going to be perfect. I can just assume that anybody who's ever done this kind of shit before knows that. It's never going to be perfect. You need to make sure you do not get dust on it, or the screen will pop out. And it will not look pretty. It will not look pretty, don't it? I made sure the computer worked before installing the screen. I like the ability to take it apart, but it doesn't seem to happen that often that you get the ability to take stuff apart from Apple, so it is. But that's how it should look. It should be flush on the bottom, because sometimes when you're working on it in the tape, it kind of pops out the bottom. So I kind of have it glued on. You're going to want equal pressure. You're also, again, going to want to make sure it works. It doesn't have any, you know, screen pressure points, like you put it on wrong or something. You make sure the camera's clean on the back side, which I did. Okay, so now when it loads, I'm going to check the RAM and see, make sure it went through right, and do some benchmark tests. I hope this doesn't get copyright strike. It's still a little higher, but piss poor. It's like almost like the other RAM was better. Maybe the other RAM was something about higher quality. I don't know what type of RAM it was. It's kind of different. better. Not much, just a little bit better. Oh, that's better on this. Better in this. Okay, so there it is where I'm at. That's all done. 1 terabyte SSD. I also have it set up for boot camp. Video editing stuff for YouTube, and you know, I can use it for whatever else. You know, like the scroll, the mouse, you know, the gestures on the mouse. It's nice and responsive. It's, you know, it's quick to launch apps. So let's see, maps. Let's look for some destinations. Zoom this. Whatever. Another thing. Hide my taskbar. No recording. I don't know why it's got this patcher thing. Probably for my whole thing. Alright, so let's go about this Mac, make sure it works. 16 megahertz DDR3, 16 gigabytes, and it's a black PCB. Memory, 8 gig, 8 gig. Storage. So let's go to Cinebench. For some reason it says it has a 2-core 4th thread on this Cinebench. I don't know if it's a flaw or because I moved this over from a, whatchamacallit. Well, before it got 1017 or 1059. So let's run it again. Oh shit. Oh wait, yeah. Okay. I looked at my phone. Camera saw that I wasn't recording. Now it may mess with the test because I'm recording off the screen recording. So what I'm gonna do is I'm also gonna record it off a camera. We're gonna see what happens. Wow, I got less of a score. I don't understand that. Yeah, you know why? Because I did that. So let's see it. Yeah. Let's try go over try Geekbench. Actually, yeah, that sounds good too. We'll do some other things. Start tests. Now I think with the screen record, it's gonna be less. So I'm gonna do one with my phone. I'm trying it out the screen record. I'm just using the system resources and whatnot. Plus Epic Games is running it. So I was gonna do see if I can do any Unreal Engine stuff on this. Any design. I doubt it. Here comes the 3D graphics test. I always like this. Wow, that's terrible. 17 frames per second. Yeah, the fans kick on. Yesterday, 986, 920. So why is it getting less? Is it the RAM? You know what? It might be the record. Let me try doing it on the phone. Doing a little thing. Hide my taskbar. No recording. I don't know why it's got this patcher thing in it. Probably from an old thing. Alright, so let's go about this Mac, make sure it works. 16 megahertz DDR3, 16 gigabytes, and it's a black PCB. Memory, 8 gig, 8 gig. Storage, 1 hard drive. Blah, 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 blah. So let's go to Cinebench. For some reason it says it has a 2-core, 4-thread on this Geekbench. I don't know if it's a flaw or because I moved this over from a whatchamacallit, but before I got 1017 or 1059. So let's run it again. Oh shit. Oh wait, yeah. Okay, I looked at my phone camera, saw that I wasn't recording. Now it may mess with the test because I'm recording off of the screen recorder. So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to record it off a camera. The adhesive strip's back on eventually. That's nice seeing that much RAM available. Probably just make sure that at least I don't have to take it apart again unless I do that stupid. Alright, let me see if this works. This works. Really? Fuck. So I got it working for now. What I did was I used the Bluetooth dongle. I hooked it up that way because these speakers are too old and they don't want to connect to the Bluetooth. What I did is when I was plugging the speaker back in, I accidentally nicked the cable and a couple connections are broken, so it needs a new headphone jack. I ordered new adhesive strips and a headphone jack, so I'll be doing that soon. You know, the whole thing, me doing this is for experience. I might not be good at it. Well, I'm okay, I'm knowledgeable, but you know, my hands might be shaky and I might not be good with the camera, but the whole reason I'm doing this is for the experience. And I like sharing my experience with everybody. So yeah, you know, maybe I'm a little clumsy sometimes or whatever, but it's my computer. I want to fuck it up and keep throwing parts at it. This is my choice. I just refuse to pay somebody else to do it who could do the same thing, who could have hit the same cable, because literally that speaker's a pain to get in. So I have sound for now. I'd like to be able to use wired headphones with it eventually, but for now I can't. So for now I'm just gonna use it the way it is and be happy with it. Oh, I don't know why this thing lost connection. This thing's a pain sometimes.